Well, here we are, folks. King of the Casuals. UFC 287, I believe this is episode 99, I think. A day filled with MMA, violence, fun, Ali Abdiaziz, fuck yous, and everything else that we love. And Nate, you're going to have to move to your right in order to be in frame, too, by the way. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Cause I'm the king of the casuals, the casual king.
Keep your fucking fingers in. What is this shit? It's always this shit.
The casuals, the casual king. Cause I'm nobody bringing you the casual back. The king of the casuals, the casual king.
It's a beautiful thing.
Amazing. I was sitting there going, king of the casuals, the casual. What the fuck is this shit?
Good old Jackie Mack in there, looking
Jackie
good.
boy.
So here we are, King of the Casuals, 287 prelim predictions. But first, if you are just tuning in for the first time, we are King of the Casuals. I'm King Casual. That's Nate and Jake. And Nate on your far upper right and Jake in the middle. And the one with us in spirit today, Jack McCarthy, Jackie Mac Forever, who was taken from us. I can never say this without almost crying. I apologize. But it's fentanyl. The fentanyl crisis in our country is the reason that I wake up every day and with the purpose to stop it. As Jack, who started this podcast, was taken from it. It's drug-induced homicide, actually. Poisoned by fentanyl was what took Jack. And so every podcast we do from this day forward will be with furious anger and vengeance towards not people, but the actual epidemic. So with that said, let's put smiles back on our faces and talk about some fucking fighting. UFC 287. So we have this card, I think, is stacked, don't you think? All the way through. That's true. Fentanyl is a cunt for sure. There's no doubt about that.
Sorry, I had to put my Jamie out there for a second.
That's okay. You can.
Let's talk about the significance of this event, because this is the first time in 20 years the UFC has been back to the Miami. And I had seen, I don't know if you guys saw the Dana White interview on Pat McAfee yesterday, but he was talking about the last time they were here, the gate was like $400,000, and he was like, I'm never fucking coming back to this place. And how the entire city is turned around and come around, and how booming it is right now. And, you know, I think he said that they were set to have like a $12 million gate. Like, the people in Miami have really turned around towards MMA. In Masvidal, you know, having this fight, it's really kind of brought UFC and made it a huge thing in Miami.
No. If Masvidal hasn't done shit to bring fighting to Miami. It's called 20 years of progress in the sport. So 20 years ago, they had a gate of what did you say? $400,000?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So 20 years ago, when MMA was in its infancy and nobody knew what the hell was going on, and Jorge Masvidal was fighting bums in the backyard, which is where he should still be, but we'll get to that.
Wow.
That's for you.
So this fight here, though, Chris Curtis and Kelvin Gastelum. It's weird to see Kelvin Gastelum on the
undercard.
As I would call it, undercard.
I'd rather watch Gastelum on the main card than Masvidal. Masvidal should be on the prelims where he belongs.
All right, so let's talk about this fight. Chris Curtis, you know, you're a fan of Chris Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Kelvin Gastelum went through a dark period, kind of like his own Cody Garbrandt. Not quite, because he hasn't been knocked out 6 times, but equally as taking a few losses. And I've always believed it was because he should be fighting at 170, and so he's moves up to 185. It's tough, and he does well there. He still does well there. But
I think what happened was like they always say, right? Like, you leave a little piece of yourself in the octagon every fight. That fight he had with Izzy, that changed his career. Like, he has not been the same since. I don't know if it was a confidence thing. I don't know if it was damage to his head. But he has not looked the same since that fight. And that's the one that launched Izzy into the stratosphere too. Like, after that fight, like, he was on a rocket ship, and I think he took something from Gastelum.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't disagree with anything that you just said, except for look at Gastelum's resume. Look at who he's fought and how those fights went. I mean, that dude's been in straight up wars with the top of the division for how long now? Gastelum is still a top tier fighter.
He lost to Darren Till.
Which, astounds me. I don't understand.
Because Darren Till's, he had his moment. He can fight, but something happened to him, I think, mentally.
Yeah, I mean, Darren Till in my eyes is similar to a lot of other guys who come in with a lot of hype, and then they let that hype get to their head, and then they just stumble. And he still hasn't come back in my eyes, you know. So it's just like, he's kind of like a NFL draft bust to me, you know, for the UFC. Kind of like or Sage Northcutt, or
I was thinking Northcutt.
Yeah, and that's what Darren Till is to me. He's not a bad fighter. He's just, I don't know if he can contend with the guys in the top of the division.
That's why he has to be removed from the roster. Either that or he wanted to. So
he wanted to McGregor it.
Maybe. So who wins? You've got Chris Curtis, who seems to be a guy that has a whole lot of confidence, and it's real confidence. But you've got a seriously tough Mexican in Calvin Gastelum, who's got great striking and can wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
Complete package.
I see this as being a battle. The whole way through, and I'm going split decision Gastelum. And I like Curtis, and I think Curtis is, you know, he's doing what he needs to right now to make a real push. But I think Gastelum wants it more.
Yeah, will it be 29-28, 2-way or three times, 2 for one of them, or will it be one of those 29-28, 29-28 the other way, and then 30-27?
Well, we're not in Texas, so hopefully.
What the hell is going on with these judges?
I don't know. So anyway, Nate.
So I think Chris Curtis, I think he's going to catch him. He's got power in his hands. He's had a lot of knockouts. I think second round he'll probably catch him and knock him out.
All right,
Chris Curtis.
All right. Bold prediction.
I'm going to go with Calvin Gastelum, and I'm going to go with Calvin Gastelum by finish, actually, in the third round, early in the third round. I have no idea what to base that off of other than gut instinct and what popped into my head, but I can see it happening because I agree with Jake that Kelvin's hungry. He needs it. And so, so that's what I'm going with. Lupe Godinez versus Cynthia Calvillo. Two really good fighters, both similar, right? And Calvillo moved up to 125 and then moved back. She kind of has been going back and forth.
She's trying to figure weight out and see what works best for her.
But I actually really like both these fighters. Mm-hmm. They've had potential to be really good. And neither of them have hit that pinnacle yet. And then Lupe Godinez is just a savage. She's got a lot of energy. But I've seen her lose as well. So I like both fighters.
Didn't she just lose to Angela Hill?
Not by finish, but by decision. Yeah.
Decision, yep.
I had Godinez winning that fight, but
I thought she won it too. But Angela Hill's no joke either. I know she's a gatekeeper type of fighter.
She's a journey woman. I'm going to go with on this one though, Cynthia Calvillo and Lupe Godinez. It's a tough one, but I'm going to go with Lupe in a decision.
Yeah, and I think the same thing. Just looking over her fight history, she's had a sub in the last 5, but the majority of her fights go to decision. She's very talented. Yeah, I think she pulls out a decision as well.
All right, so there's that.
That's unanimous. I think
unanimous.
We're on the same page. Yeah.
It is the second to last of the prelims is the Michelle Watterson.
Okay.
I am not going to do well with the other fighter's name.
Say it.
Luana Pinheiro.
One more time.
Luana Pinheiro.
Why do you do that? At least he tried.
I love it.
That's air. Pinheiro.
I don't think that's right either.
No, it's definitely not. Which is why I didn't want to say it. I didn't at all. Right.
Against the Karate Hottie. So
that's still failing.
Yeah. To me, the Karate Hottie has been around for a while, and she is a mother and a kind of domesticated herself. And I think that, when I say domesticated, she is a fighter. You be undomesticated.
You have to have an edge, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and I think with her, she's found the beauty of children and that life. And probably, I'm guessing it's hard for her to get into the beast mode after that. It's kind of like when a fighter makes too much money. Same idea. I'm not picking her. I'm just saying I don't know that she has that will anymore.
Yeah,
I definitely don't think she's a championship level fighter.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, she's still a great striker.
Mm-hmm.
She's just so little though that sometimes I find when she's, a lot of her defense is that push kick, and I've seen her with girls that are taller. She has a hard time with distance.
Well, they're pretty much in this fight. They're pretty much the same height. They're both Michelle's 5'3" and Luana's 5'2".
What's Luana's record?
Luana's record's 10-1, and in her last 5 fights, she's had 3 finishes. The other person got DQ'd, and she had a decision against Hughes.
Has she beaten anybody of note, though?
3 fights ago, she was on the Contender Series. So obviously, she's moving through, starting to move up in talent level. So
she hasn't faced the death row of the division like Rose Namajunas or well, Joanna's retired, but of that ilk, or even that super good boxer. What's her name? I'm brain dead right now. I had that migraine earlier and COVID and all kinds of other stuff. Yeah, everything's wrong with me. No, the what is? All right, now I gotta look it up.
I'm in the process.
All right. Which fight were we talking about?
We're talking
Michelle
about
Watterson.
Yep.
I think Watterson is fun to watch. She has some good fights, but Luana coming in, she's hungry. She wants to make a name for herself. She's 10-1, and I watched her in the Contender Series, and she's got some aggression that I don't think, like Jamie was saying, I don't think Watterson has. And that's what you need if you really want to make a run and you really want to beat the top tier people. So I think Luana takes this one pretty early, actually, maybe first, second round finish.
Yeah. And then will Michelle then drop her gloves on the ground, Jake?
I don't think she'll drop her gloves on the ground, but I don't think she fights again.
All right. Yeah.
Jamie, was the fighter you were looking for Tatiana Suarez?
Thank you very much.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. I think she's probably one that has a really good shot at being the next champ.
Agreed.
Yep.
It's good.
I'm gonna go with I really like the karate hottie, and for that reason alone, I'm just gonna go with Michelle. I think she's fought a lot more people. She has a lot more experience. She's a crafty vet. She's gonna figure out a way to get this thing done today. She needs it. This is, like you guys are saying, probably her last run. So if she wants to even sniff a title, she's got to get this done. So she's backed in the corner.
Yeah.
All right. I can go against you though too. Make sure.
It's true. Yep.
I'm gonna take Luana by finish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to Carl Williams versus Chase Sherman. Two big boys.
Yeah, I like Chase Sherman in this. He's got just some canned hams that he throws around at the end of those arms, and I'm excited. This is going to be a first round finish fight. No matter who wins it, it's a first round finish. Right. But I think Sherman takes this one.
Don't blink.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Well, you can blink because it's definitely going to go all 3, and it's going to be unanimous decision for Carl Williams. He's going to grind it out.
Wow. I'm going to say Carl Williams in the first round.
Knockout?
Yeah, of course. These guys, it's like getting hit by a car. The next fight is Gerald Meerschaert versus Nate.
Joe Piper.
Okay. Meerschaert, the only time I've seen Meerschaert lose was against Khamzat Chimaev where he got knocked out. Otherwise, he wins every time I've ever watched.
Meerschaert's solid. He's a really good fighter. He's got skills in every area that he needs them. He's still developing them, but he's very well-rounded.
Got a lot of submissions.
I think he takes this very quickly, takes it to the ground, finishes in the first round.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Meerschaert as well. He's a salty vet. Freaking 50 fights. I think that experience is going to win out.
And he's still developing, which is cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's unanimous, folks. I'm going with Meerschaert as well. So that's going to wrap us up here for our prelim predictions of UFC 287. Should be a big night. Jackie Mac forever. And we'll be back. We'll be back to main card.
Cause I'm the king of the casuals, the casual king.
Get your fucking fingers in. What is this shit? It's always this shit.
The casuals, the casual king, 'cause I'm